Okay, I would like to start with a simple question. Bisa raise your hands jika kalian relate. Siapa di sini yang pernah punya ide bisnis, tapi akhirnya nggak jadi karena antara takut, karena overthink, dan apapun itu? You can raise your hands. Okay, I see a few people raising their hands. But, guys, this is kind of a similar experience. Because from what I see, building a business itu kayak seperti building a Lego. Bisa ada panduannya, terus you just need to build brick by brick, and tiba-tiba udah jadi final product. But let's be realistic here. Building a business, kalian nggak bakal tahu nanti akhirnya bakal kemana. And you don't know where your team is gonna go to. Kayak nggak ada guidebook, nggak ada yang tahu hasil akhirnya bakal sebagus kayak gimana. Because that's just the reality of a business. When we're real, because making a business is not easy. It's hard. Because let's be real here. Statistically, under the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the failure rate of making a business is actually really high. Semakin lama bisnis bertahan, semakin lama failure rate-nya. Tambah tinggi terus, and tambah tinggi terus. But if you see it from another perspective, it's actually still possible to make a business, right? You just need to find the right formula. So, yes, this talk is called How to Start Your Business Without Knowing What You're Doing. Because honestly, I was there too. A mere 15-year-old trying to explore their business and trying to start their business, I didn't know what to do. So, I hope this talk will be helpful for you guys. But, tunggu bentar, ada kata pepatah, tak kenal maka tak sayang, right? So, let me introduce myself. Siapa sih umur 17 ini SMA? Ngapain dia di sini? Well, I'm a founder. My name is Holly Natasha. I started my first business saat aku SMP. Fresh out of SMP, aku langsung propose to my parents. Ma, boleh nggak aku buat bisnis? At first, they were like, no, why? Tapi akhirnya, when I convinced them, akhirnya dibolehin. Tapi, I started also from zero. I'm gonna explain more of that later. But throughout all of my years, being born in a business family, 17 years old, living already in a business family, and 2 years from my experience from Haro Studio, I'm gonna gather all of my experience here in just 15 minutes. I'm just gonna take 15 minutes of your time. I'm gonna share the secret, the founder rule. How do you actually start a successful business? So, first, it's called the founder, and the first F is called F. Face your fears. Okay, well, it may sound cliche. Ya iyalah, face your fears. But tadi, in fact, ada beberapa yang angkat tangan when I said ada mulai bisnis, tapi it just stays as an idea. Nggak dia mulai-mulai gara-gara takut. Am I right? So, as cliche as it may sound, facing your fears is one of the most common factors mengapa orang-orang nggak start a business. And that's actually really normal. Rasa takut itu sangat normal. In fact, most of the founders I know, they start with fears, including me. The little girl inside of me right now is still scared standing on this stage. Does he deserve to be here? But, the difference between a founder and penonton, itu how do they face their fear? Bagaimana mereka face that fear? Satunya ada yang stop. Hanya ada yang mengamati and terima that fear itu nggak bisa dilampaui. Tapi a real founder, mereka siap melampaui dari challenge itu. Mereka siap untuk menghadapi and get over that fear. And that is a real trait that the founder needs when they start a business. So, when you start your business, make sure to face your fear. Okay, so now when you got your fear covered, let's pretend you already face your fear. You gotta own your mindset. What do you mean by owning your mindset? By owning your mindset, it means kalian harus ada shift to perspective. You have to see what you have. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you have to own your mindset. Next might be a controversial topic, but you have privilege. You're born from a decent, good business family. Of course, bakal ada yang modalin kamu. Of course, you'll have the easy way out. And of course, everything will be easy. That might be what you assume, right? Well, 15-year-old Holly was in debt to my dad. Well, I wasn't able to get a loan out from the bank, so my dad became my bank. He became my initial investment. He paid from the initial machine, but In fact, now I'm free from the debts. So, that is it. Kalau di-sum up, artinya I started from zero. Modalku nol, and it's actually in debt, and then I paid it off, so now it's back to zero. So, what do you think? Do you think everyone with privilege itu selalu yang bisa sukses? Well, if you think it this way, in this world, pasti banyak orang yang privilege, yang mungkin kaya dari bisnis, a good business background, they're able to start their business freely. But if it's like that, won't everyone just be rich? Won't every rich kid person have a business, a successful one as that? I don't think so. So, what can you do now? Is that you have to realize that you guys actually have privilege. You guys have 2 hands, 2 mata, 2 kaki, 1 otak. The ability to choose, the ability to strategize, the ability to think, the ability to have teamwork. You have to realize that is a privilege in itself, especially when you're building a business. So, what you need to change is how you look at yourself. Bagaimana kamu melihat dirimu sendiri? Because when you shift this perspective, when you shift the thing that, oh, I'm actually capable of doing this, it will actually lead to great stuff. Let me give you an example. When you shift, okay, I'm actually capable of making a business, then you start to make wise decisions. Kalian akan mulai membuat decision yang actually wise that will lead to the success of the business. See? So, owning your mindset is one thing, but you also have to control it. And next, when starting a business, pasti of course you have to have the product. What do you want to sell to people? Apa yang kira-kira mereka mau? But you may have a lot of ideas in your head right now, but what I need you to know is that bisnis ide terbaik, terbagus, itu selalu muncul dari masalah yang dialami banyak orang. Sekecil masalah itu, sebesar masalah itu, if it experienced by a lot of people, I can jamin produknya pasti bisa berhasil. You know why? Because semakin banyak orang struggle with this one thing, but when your business is able to solve that thing, boom, everyone will run to your business because they have the solution, and that will become the unique selling point of your business, in fact. So, let me tell you a story. When I was in Korea back in 2023, I saw streets of photo booths. But then, back in Surabaya, there was only like 2 or 3 photo booths here with all the same softwares, with all the same programs, with all boring backgrounds. So, naturally, me, my grandma, my mom, and some of my friends were like complaining, we'd rather just take the traditional route, kita mending foto dengan fotografer tradisional daripada self photo booth yang biasa-biasa aja. So that's why I tried to make a business yang softwarenya bisa di-personalize. And that personalized become a customized experience that you cannot face anywhere else. Nah, that was my first thinking when I wanted to start Haru. Good ideas don't only come from your brain, but you have to look at your surrounding. What is everyone struggling right now? What is everyone complaining about right now? And if you're asking me, dari mana sih dapat ide kayak gini? Come on, we live in a digital world. Bisa ada Google Trends, ada TikTok, Instagram, Shopee. There are lots of people complaining about a lot of things there. And instead of ikut mereka complain, you can just take advantage of it and start your business. You have to understand the market. Next. First, you have to also navigate with vision. When starting a business, you have to have a goal, not just a short-term one, but a long-term goal, which is called a vision. This vision will be your main path when starting a business. Because without a vision, you don't know what you'll do. You don't know which matters to take or not. And for starting a business, I got this advice from my mom. When you start a business, you will have risks to take. Pasti ada risk yang baik, ada risk yang worth it, sama risk yang nggak worth it. Now, how do you decide between these 2 risks? It's the vision. Mana yang lebih correlate to your vision? It's your long-term goal. Apa risk ini lebih worth it? Apa risk itu lebih worth it? Dan mana yang lebih nggak worth it? This is why having a vision, especially for your business, is very, very important. Well, that's one thing. But do you know that your vision itu mungkin nggak correlate with reality? What you expect itu mungkin bisa nggak keluar. Me, when I first started my business, I expected the place that I was staying permanent to bakal rame banget. Jadi aku buka di Neon Market, it was like full of F&B tenants, and I was the only self-photo booth studio there. Aku hanya salah satu yang entertainment, yang orang-orang bisa seru gitu. So I naturally thought, mungkin orang-orang habis makan-makan, hangout, langsung foto sama temennya. And I thought it would be successful. But in reality, just through events, I have to come to places. I have to spend more on transport. But was it worth the risk? Yeah, I would say it was. Because it still correlates with my vision supaya orang-orang bisa personalize photo booths, self-photo booths langsung keluar instant, tanpa sibuk-sibuk, tanpa susah-susah. And with events, actually, I get to reach way more people. More people can get to know my brand, and I get more cuan. And I think that's what all of us want in our business, right? So even though our vision does not correlate, what our reality doesn't correlate with our vision, it's still important to have one single vision. And it will determine the risk you take and not within your business. Next, you have to decide what matters. Of course, we're human. Kita nih manusia. Kita ada energi terbatas, kita ada waktu terbatas, ada modal terbatas. Kita nggak bisa lakuin semuanya at once. We cannot do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's impossible to do that, right? We cannot do that. So you have to decide what actually matters. And I'm sure most of you know this. Fear of missing out. FOMO. Pasti produk apa yang lagi tren. Content creator apa yang lagi tren. Aduh, aku harus ikut-ikut nih, aku harus ikut-ikut deh. This is a common mistake in business practices. Because whether you realize it or not, when you become influenced, it's not good for your business. You have to influence rather than being influenced. This is because when you become influenced, it may deviate from your own vision. It may deviate from your current goal, and it won't be good for your good business. And also, you have to decide which one is your priority. Mana yang kira-kira aku harus lakuin sekarang, and aku bisa tunda later. And this comes up to the most important topic. Which one to say no? Yes, mungkin ada banyak sekali opportunity out there for a business, and you want to say yes to everything. But deciding what matters means that you have to know which one to say no to. Oh, I cannot do this first because it's not my priority right now. I'm currently focusing on the growth of my business. Aku lagi fokus ke growth bisnisku, jadi aku fitur-fiturnya nanti aja. That's what a business mindset is. So now you got your products, you got your mindset, you face your fears. What's next? Executing. Well, they need maybe two opinions. Because executing, for me, itu both easy and hard. Kok bisa gampang sih executing? Mulai kan susah. Well, first of all, kalian sudah ada ide, udah ada strategi, udah ada tim, udah ada semuanya, tinggal laksanain. Easy enough, right? But actually, no. Semakin banyak overthinking, semakin nggak jadi. You know why? Because kira-kira, if you have a makeup brand, oh, aku harus bikin 10 shades supaya lebih inklusif. Jadi nggak mulai-mulai kan? Oh, brandku tapi belum sebanyak fitur brand ABC. Jadi nggak mulai-mulai kan? That's what I'm saying. Executing is both easy and hard. But no matter how not perfect your product is, a real founder, mereka jalanin aja dulu, and mereka bakal improve on the step later on. Mereka jalanin apa yang mereka ada sekarang. They give out their best now, tapi along the way, mereka bakal improve terus. Because that's the reality of the business. And that comes up to my last point. You have to refine and repeat when starting a business. I don't know if this is a sad truth or not, but for me, it's actually a good truth because once you start a business, it actually goes on and on and on. It never stops because once you start a business, langsung maju, itu bakal terjadi berkali-kali. Bisnis nggak jadi sekali, itu terjadi berkali-kali. You know why? Because aku bisa ibaratkan bisnis sebagai pencil and eraser. Pencil mungkin kita bisa menggambar produk dulu, and kita dapat feedback, we can erase the bad parts. Kita bisa menghapus part-part yang jelek, langsung kita gambar yang lebih bagus lagi. And that is what a business is. Bisnis itu selalu ada room for improvements. You still don't believe me? Because pas dapat feedback, kita harus dicermati. Because these feedbacks, you will usually get it from the other perspective. From the customer perspective, yang bakal beli produk kamu, mereka akan kasih kamu feedback. And you have to receive it because those are precious feedbacks. You cannot generate with your own mind alone, right? Jadi ketika ada feedback yang jelek, perbaiki. Jika dapet yang bagus, ulangi. You still don't believe me why the businesses should do like this? Well, let's take a look at a billion-dollar company right now. I'm sure most of you guys have. Instagram. Raise your hands if you have Instagram. Okay. Most of you guys have raised your hands. But did you know they actually started with the name Bourbon? I guess not. So they start as this small startup dari 2010, and then right now they become this billion-dollar valued company. Mereka start dari Bourbon, dari yang sebelumnya nggak jelas fokusnya kemana. Tapi now that they shifted their focus, mereka menjadi billion-dollar valued company yang sangat sukses, yang almost most of us have it here. Kita punya aplikasinya. Why? How are they successful? Well, the secret is they always refine and repeat. Mereka refine apa yang kurang bagus, and then they fix what's bad. Mereka improve to be better at the social media, especially. So, to sum it up, you can be a founder with Founder. If we sum it all up, F, face your fears. O, own your mindset. U, understand the market. N, navigate with vision. D, decide what matters. E, execute. And R, refine, repeat. I would like to end it with, kamu nggak harus tahu bisnismu nantinya gimana. Kamu cukup tahu langkah kamu selanjutnya. Because in a business, nggak mungkin kalian langsung bisa prediksi. We're not Doctor Strange. Kita nggak bisa lihat yang nanti ke depannya bisnis kita kayak gimana. Bakal bangkrut, bakal sukses, bakal trending, bakal viral. You don't know what your business is gonna go. But what you need to know is how to take your next step. Bagaimana cara improve bisnismu terus, and how do you also improve yourself? Because as a business owner, you also represent your business. So, let's go all in, guys. We only live once, and this is all that we got. Oopsies. We only live once, so give it your best. So give it your chaotic self, give it your imperfect self, give it your passion, just give it your all for your business. So, you still want to start a business? I'm sure you do. Now, you know how, and you know what you're doing. That is Holly Natasha. See you on top, Business Owners. Thank you.